Hi, today in honor of parashat Chukat, I want to draw a picture of Og, melech habashan, about to drop a mountain on the camp of Am Yisrael. Now we learned this from the Midrash that says that Og, melech habashan, picked up a giant mountain and he was going to destroy Am Yisrael with that mountain. And along came some ants and they dropped the mountain on Og's head after Moshe Rabbeinu, or before Moshe Rabbeinu hit him in the leg with an axe. So Og is a giant. He's really, really big. And in order to make him look big in our picture, we're going to draw him from way, way down on the ground, and we're going to be looking up, up, up at his head. And to do that, we're going to need to use certain shapes. So let me show you some of the shapes we're going to use today for our drawings, and then we'll get into the drawing. Shape number one is going to be a lot of these squished half circles. I guess you could call them half ovals, if you want to. So it's going to be shapes like this. Okay? A lot of those shapes. And the other shapes we're going to be using are a lot of corner shapes. A lot of shapes like that. Okay, so try to keep those shapes in mind as we draw our picture of Og melech habashan. I just want to point out as we're starting that Og is a kind of funny name. If you remember, Og lived through the flood in the times of Noah. And here we are, 40 years after Am Yisrael comes out of Egypt, much, much later, a few hundred years later, a few thousand years later, and Og is still around. He's really old, so you might think that he could have been like a caveman way back. And when Mrs. Og was holding her little baby Og in her arms, or her not so little baby Og in her arms, she probably asked her husband what they should name him, and he looked up from his burnt chicken or something, and he said, Og, and that became his name. So I just wanted to point that out for you guys. Anyway, let's start Og. First of all, we're going to do two corners. The two corners we're going to draw are going to be near the top of our page, right near the top of our page, like this. One small corner, and a little bit of a bigger corner. That's our first shape. Now we're going to do some of those squished ovals, the half ovals that we were going to do. So let's start them underneath this corner shape. And we're going to draw a half oval shape that touches the corners of our last shape. Now we're going to put on just two lines at the end going inside the oval. And that's a good start for now. That's going to be the mountain that Og is holding up. And now we're going to add Og a crown because he was a king. He was the king of Bashan. So let's give him a crown. So we'll make some really spiky shapes here. And then another half oval shape. Okay. And then we're going to come out from that oval shape to the sides, outward. 1, 2. 2 lines coming down. Now we're going to make Og angry because he's a sort of nasty guy. We're going to have a little downward pointing arrow there and two tiny, tiny little dots for his eyes. And the reason we're making them so small is because eyes don't change their size so much. So if you want to make someone look really big, you give them really, really small eyes, and you can tell that that face is a big face. Now we can give him an angry nose. So we'll just put out two corners again, pointing outside, and a really angry mouth. So we're going to make an M shape, kind of like the shape we made over here. And we're just going to cut it off with a flat line. That's an angry mouth right there. Okay. Now I'm going to make these lines a little bit longer so they go on right below my mouth there. And now let's fill in some more details. So first we're going to make a kind of flat line across that just goes across his head there. That's good. Now let's do more corners. Ready? One corner from this point down and back. Ready? Down and back. And now from this point, down and back. That's going to be Og's arms. Now we have to give him some shoulder pads because he's a soldier, I guess, in this picture. He's trying to fight. So we'll just put some half circles again, going up around there. And now, another corner. We're going to come down from here and across. Ready? Down and across. And from here, the same thing. Down and across. And now we're going to do some more corners, if you can believe it. We're going to come from here, down and across again. Ready? Down and across. Down and across. And now you can see that we kind of have Og's arms, and we can attach his shoulder pads to his arms with some straps. That makes him look pretty cool. Now we need another half oval shape. So let's put it right about here. We're going to make another half oval going up and down. And we're going to attach that to the ends of his arms. And now we're going to draw some lines going down that shoulder shape. Ready? That oval shape. Lines going down the whole way. And now more oval shapes all the way up. Pretty cool. That's Og's armor. Back in the day, they used to make armor out of little plates of metal, and they would attach them all together on a vest, and that was their way of protecting themselves. Now I want to give Og some ears. Let's give him little ears also, just like the little eyes. He's got to have little ears. And now let's finish the line of this mountain behind Og, so we can just make a line going into his ears from his arms. There we go. Now we've got Og holding up a mountain, and the last thing he needs is some legs. So the first thing we want to do is give him some kind of clothes on his legs. I'm going to draw some kind of armor that they used to wear also back in the day. Let's start with a big triangle kind of shape coming down. Like this. Ready? Big triangle coming down. And now I'm going to do zigzags around this triangle shape. So I'm going to make the zigzags go around like that oval shape, but it's going to be like a zigzaggy oval shape. So let's try that. That's a little complicated, but I bet you can do it. There we go. And now we can attach the inside points of the lines to the top of Og's tummy there, or the bottom of Og's tummy. Now he's got one of these funny armors that they used to wear on the bottom half. You could even go inside and just go around the inside of those shapes. Maybe I'm getting too complicated here, but if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. It makes it look a little bit cooler. Just following the inside of each of those sections. And now let's finish up his legs. So we're going to do another corner. Ready? Here comes a corner, down and across. Very simple. And now another corner that's not straight across, but at a diagonal, and then down. And then here, I can have this line go towards this one here. And again, I'm going to go down here and across at a diagonal. And then another corner, down and across. And I'm going to finish this up by pulling a line towards the inside, towards the other line there. Now I've got two legs. You can even put a little swirly shape there to show that he's got knees. Those are his knees. And now we have to finish up the back of his skirt thing with more zigzags. And to make that look like it's the back, I'm just going to cover it with a bunch of dark black lines there. And that shows that it's inside the skirt. And then we have to give him feet. So to give him feet, I just want to draw some toes. Let's give him a big round toe here, and another toe here, and here, and here, and here. Because most people have 5 toes, and then we can attach that here. And then we can make another corner. Ready? Here comes a corner, and a bump for his ankle. And then the same thing here, a bump, a corner, some toes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Now let's give him some straps for his sandals. These are just going to be lines that go around his feet. You can even, if you have a little bit of space on the bottom of your page, you can draw another line under his foot that goes up around for the bottom of the sandal. Now, let's put some more straps on his legs by just making 2 lines across from each other, parallel to each other. And then we're going to go up in a zigzag with these parallel lines. See? Up in a zigzag. And there you go. Now you have scary Og holding up a mountain. You could even put some lines under the mountain if you want to, just like we did behind the skirt, to make it look like it's the underside of the mountain. It's in the shadows. That looks pretty good. I like that. If you want some bonus points here, we could draw Moshe jumping up and smashing Og with an axe. You don't have to do this part, but it might add a little bit of fun to the picture. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 2 corners that are attached to each other. Ready? This corner is going to go up, across, and up again. And I'm going to draw an X coming down from there. And then I'm going to draw another corner just like the first one, kind of up, across, and this time at an angle up. And in order to show what these things are, I'm going to add some features. I'm going to put a little ball here, and a little ball here. I'm going to put a line coming out of that, and a line coming out of that. I'm going to fill it in all black. So it looks like a silhouette, which means the shadow of a person. And I'm going to draw a little ball over here with a beard coming out of it. And in this ball here, I'm going to put an X. Ready? Line and an X shape. And there you have Moshe Rabbeinu jumping up, and he's going to smack Og in the leg, and that's going to be the Og melech habashan. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Draw the Sedra. Be'ezrat Hashem, I will post another one for Balak. Have fun coloring your drawing. Send it to me. info@dovetrail.com. That's it for now.